Good morning and welcome to Hermetic Temple Radio 1111 Meditation Practice, our short form. This is Frater Ralph, and I'd like to welcome you to these podcasts. We are going to start out today in our normal way, asking everybody to get into the proper mood, the proper spirit for meditation. And then after the meditation session, we will have a very short talk on where we're at right now in planning and building and updating Temple of the Infinite Universe. But for now, find yourself in a calm, relaxed position. And if you do not find yourself in a calm, relaxed position, try to place yourself in a calm, relaxed position. Put yourself into a proper state, position of any kind where you can meditate comfortably and without disruption for a period of about half an hour. Actually, I think we're only going to go about 20 minutes today. But get comfortable, take in a deep breath, preferably through your nose. Fill your lungs deeply and completely. Hold the breath for a moment, and then exhale. And again, exhale completely as you comfortably can. And repeat the process. Breathe in deeply. Hold. And exhale. And as you exhale, feel the worries of the day just leave your body. Breathe in again. Breathe in peace, happiness, and breathe in deeply. Hold. And exhale all the cares and all the worries. Exhale fully and completely. Now again, breathe in deeply. Hold. And exhale. Now at this point you can choose to do our mantra, intoning the vowel sound oo. And we'll do that for a few minutes. Ooh. Just relax and let yourself go. Ooh. Okay, continue to breathe in and out, relaxed. Open your eyes gradually. Prepare to bring yourself back to a normal state of full awakening consciousness. Now, what I'd like to do for the remainder of our broadcast during this time is to present a temple update. Let you know what's been going on here at Temple of the Infinite Universe. Why we've been off the air for close to 2 weeks, and what improvements we're working on here to expand our service and to, expand this fellowship that we have started here in Wheatland, Missouri, in physical face-to-face world and globally across the internet in cyberspace. And to start off with, we've been off the air for about 2 weeks because of a problem we've had with our internet connection. We are in the sticks. We are on the rural internet network, which is not the best by city standards. Oh gosh, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. We're signed up for high-speed internet, and of course, for people in the city, that should be, about 12 gigs, something like that. We get about 1.5 gigs download, which is good enough to maintain a website. It's hardly good enough to be streaming videos. And then we have an upload speed of, 0.6, 0.5, gigs, which is, takes time to upload those videos. And we've been persevering with that low-quality service from our rural internet provider until about 2 weeks ago when we had storms come in and we were knocked off the air. I mean, so many times, just knocked offline so many times that I finally got in touch with our provider, who will, for this point in time, remain nameless, and let them know that they had to improve our service or else, because it came to my attention that this one internet provider we've been with for the last 11 years is no longer the only game in town. And we do have 2 other viable options. And so we're still talking with them, but after I got a little rough with them, our service has begun to improve. We are finally at a point in time where we have a stable internet connection now for about, maybe 20, 22 hours a day. Prior to this, we were lucky to get in a 6-hour day of having a stable internet connection, and that's 6 hours out of a 24-hour period, which meant that if I wanted to stay up and maybe broadcast at 3 in the morning, I might just possibly have had a chance to do that, but I never tested that theory. But we are working with our internet provider. Our internet provider now appears to be working in good faith with us. And we seem to be getting that problem under control. So that's why we have not been up for so long. And that's just simply poor internet service. And that is changing. And I hope to be back to daily broadcasts here on the Spreaker network with, immediately. I'm going to try it again tomorrow, and we'll just see how it goes. Take it one day at a time. So we've been taking care of that issue. Another issue that we've begun to deal with, too, is our internet sites, the quality of our internet sites, and particularly search engine optimization. For me, it's not a brand new term, but it's a term that I've just now begun to take very seriously, because I've been talking about our internet sites on Twitter. I've been talking about it here on Spreaker. I've been talking about them on Facebook, and I've been putting in a little bit of time on Google+. But I really didn't know a whole lot about increasing our organic, internet reach. And I began doing some research into that just the other day. And found out that there are a lot of very easy things that can be done to increase the search engine optimization. And our website provider, webs.com, has been working with me extremely well in helping us improve our search engine optimization. When I began the process last night, one of our websites was at a 6% rating, which was poor, very poor. And after a couple of hours of work going through their checklists and updating information and activating certain features, we got up to about a 43% rating on that, 43% good out of 100%. And a second website that we have went up from about 10 to 50%. So that's pretty good improvement. And I'm going to be continuing to work on that periodically, maybe a little bit more this evening. Kind of get creative and do a little bit more internet writing, and also a little more technical, looking at those little widgets, and gadgets that help you get the message out. So that's been another thing that we've been working on. A few years ago, when I first started this interfaith outreach that has come to be known as Temple of the Infinite Universe, I had a basic idea of what it is we wanted to do. We wanted to get a basic message of good spirituality, good wholesome spirituality from an interfaith perspective out there and to everybody. Prior to this, I was a Christian minister, and my entire focus was on reuniting the folks of Christianity. And then later, as I got involved with Buddhists and Wiccans and pagans and just people from all over the religious spectrum, I began to realize that my previous focus of just focusing on Christianity and the Abrahamic faiths was not enough. That if you want to be truly interfaith, truly open, you have to include everybody. And so that's the path that we have chosen, is to try to reach out as best we can to people of goodwill from every spiritual religious tradition and none at all, including the atheists, the agnostics, the atheists, a lot of good people in those camps. And they have a lot to contribute to interfaith spirituality, believe it or not. A lot of good people that understand some pretty good spiritual basics, like do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. love one another as you would love yourself. I've learned quite a bit along those lines from atheists, more so than uh, religious people sometimes. So that's been our goal, is to build a interfaith connection that would be open to everybody. And we've based it along simple, basic Hermetic lines. And if you're not familiar with the Hermetica, it is a beautiful philosophy, very beautiful system of thought that can be incorporated into any religious tradition. Matter of fact, when we quote certain Hermetic axioms like cast not your pearls before swine, people think that you're quoting from the gospel. Well, yeah, in a way you are quoting from the Christian Bible, but these words actually, some consider them to predate the Christian Bible. And they are said to go back to Hermetic writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, which is a mouthful for me still. And I believe that the basic Hermetic philosophy even predates Hermes Trismegistus, who is, some would say he is a contemporary of Abraham. At least that's the take upon Hermes Trismegistus as I've read in the Kybalion. But to break it down more simply than that, without getting into names and dates, the Hermetica teaches that we find the divine within nature and within ourselves. And to me, this is still a revolutionary way of thinking, because I was raised with the understanding that in order to find God, other people might say goddess, other people might say the divine, in order to find this deity, you had to look outside of yourself. You had to look into certain scriptures. You had to go to certain churches, certain temples. You had to talk to certain priests and ministers and holy men and holy women. And a lot of that stuff can be helpful. It can lead you to where you ultimately need to go. But you will not find the whole truth until you learn to look within yourself and learn to see the divine within you and also outside of you within nature. Just in your normal day-to-day environment. See, most people are raised with the understanding that we are separate from the divine. And if you want to connect with the divine, you have to do something out of the ordinary. You know, find a sacred spot, find a sacred space, which, is good. I mean, you have to create sacred time and sacred space for yourself from time to time to really focus on connecting with the divine. But the divine is not limited there. The divine is, well, this is a joke we used to have in high school, where is God? God is everywhere. Well, there's a truth to that. That's why, that saying is so popular. The divine is everywhere and in everything. And when you can learn to see the divine within yourself and within your neighbor and within a pencil that you may be fiddling with right now, or a head of cabbage that's gone moldy in your refrigerator, when you learn to see the divine in those simple, basic things, then you're at a very good point to really understand and get the Hermetic axioms, the Hermetic truths that we have learned to base much of our teaching on. And the Hermetica is very compatible with the gospel teachings of Jesus. Matter of fact, I kind of wonder if Jesus may have gotten some of his source from the Hermetica. I think that there definitely was a borrowing that occurred there. Some would say the Hermetica borrowed from Jesus. Others might say that Jesus borrowed from the Hermetica. We're still there's no solid agreement amongst a lot of people over strict dates and things of that nature. But they are nonetheless compatible. And the Hermetica has the added attraction to me of being a philosophy which is truly interfaith, ecumenical, and open to all. And that's what we are focusing on doing this week, is clarifying our message and presenting that message on our website. So as we achieve increased search engine optimization and get all that technical stuff worked out, and get all that wizardry done, we will also have a good solid message to put on those websites and update those websites with, and just work on getting the message out. Now, another thing that we're working on too is that when we first started Temple of the Infinite Universe, my desire was to make it as interactive as possible. So far, we have not achieved that because, to me, the world of computers, technology, it's not what I was trained in. I am a theologian. I was trained in theology, trained in religious studies. I totally ignored computers until about 10 years ago. So this is a whole new field for me. And, I am an older, middle-aged man. Consider myself to be an old dog learning new tricks. And while some would say that's impossible, I would say it's not impossible, but it is rather difficult. So I'm literally learning a lot of this stuff still. Not completely from scratch anymore. I've been at it for about 10 years. But there's still a lot of things that, I am just still picking up on. And one of these things, simple as it may be to a lot of you folks out there, is the world of text messaging. And I put a poll up on Twitter, on my Twitter account, Frater Ralph on Twitter. And I asked people, what form of electronic communication do you prefer? And I gave 4 choices, phone, Skype, email, and then at the very bottom I put text. And to me, my most favorite form of communication is probably phone. If I want to talk to somebody and I can't talk to them face to face, I'll just call them up on the phone. I enjoy hearing their voice, and I also enjoy Skype. I enjoy hearing a person's voice and seeing a person's face on a video call. So I was rather surprised when I found out that really the majority of people, a simple majority, but still a majority of folks who have so far responded to that poll, said that they prefer to communicate via text message. And my attitude previous to this on text messages, really came out of the movie Machete, if you've ever seen that one. I haven't seen it, but there's one line in it that I love, and that is, I think, who is it? Jessica, can't think of her name right now. Oh, whatever. Anyhow, she says to Machete, text me. And he responds, Machete don't text. And that's been my attitude on text messaging, is that Machete don't text. And the few times that people have actually sent me a text message, I've had to struggle trying to figure out, okay, what's this phone doing? What's this beeping here? And so since I found out that a lot of people out there really enjoy using text messages, in an effort to make our outreach as interactive and user-friendly as I possibly can at this point in time, I sat down and started playing with text messaging. And after a while, I could begin to actually see why a lot of people love this form of communication. I'm still a little slow at it, but I'm getting the hang of it. I've got a couple little cell phones that have this function, of course, and learning how to use it. And within the next week, I believe, we will begin to have the text message option presented on a number of our websites. And so, if you want to communicate with us, you'll have the option of email. You'll have the option of sending us your phone number, and I can contact you via, our Skype or phone international phone plan. We have that, so we can communicate through phone and Skype. And we'll also have text messaging. Have that. Once I get myself trained to doing it a little bit faster and a little bit better, we'll have that option out there too. Another option that we are looking into, and this applies, I guess, primarily to all of our websites, but I'm thinking about it more so for our tarot reading sites. We currently have 2 tarot reading sites that we operate. Mine is tarotbyralph.com. And then my wife, Reverend Heidi, who speaks English and Spanish, but is a lot better in Spanish than she is in English still. She has her own website that offers tarot reading in Spanish called tarotbyreverendheidi.com. And up to now, we've used PayPal as our method of accepting payments and receiving donations. And we also use PayPal on our Temple of the Infinite Universe site. And so far that's been our only commerce option that we've been able to offer. Well, for the last 2 weeks, I've been investigating the world of crypto coins, more specifically Bitcoin. And we are looking into ways of accepting payments and donations on our websites via Bitcoin. And I'm going to be working on that also later on this evening, creating the proper account with a Bitcoin partner that I've discovered and have been working with quietly for about a week and a half. And I hope to, within short order, be able to learn enough about this to offer a payment button that will allow people to engage in transactions via the Bitcoin network. And for a lot of people who are out there internationally, trying to do commerce internationally can sometimes be a pain in the lower extremities. I didn't really fully realize this until I tried to make a simple credit card payment to a partner of ours in London, and found out that the bank wouldn't let my credit card transaction go through because, according to their records, it showed that somebody had my credit card in London, and they were blocking that. They thought it had been stolen. And I called the bank and said, no, that's me. I'm just trying to do a little transaction here. So they unblocked the transaction supposedly. And then I tried to go back and redo the transaction a second time, and it was blocked a second time. And, that and a few other reasons. Sometimes international transactions through the traditional means can be a pain in the neck. Bitcoin helps to smooth all that stuff out. You have to be careful using it. I understand that because once a transaction goes through using Bitcoin, it goes through. There's you can't call it back as easily as you can with a credit card. You can't file a complaint and say, "Hey, look, I made a mistake here. I want to cancel this transaction. Bitcoin, once a transaction is made, it's done. So you have to be careful using it. But when you know who you're dealing with, when you know what you want to do with the Bitcoin, when you know the transaction you want to make, whether you're living in the United States or London or, farthest reaches of Africa or South Africa or the Middle East or Europe, you can make that transaction just as easily around the world as you can if you were living right across the street. And I appreciate that. I appreciate simplicity. I appreciate the ease of doing those kinds of transactions. So for those of our followers who are already involved in the Bitcoin network, we will be offering the option of using Bitcoin to order services from us or make donations to us. And for those of you who are not yet familiar with Bitcoin, I found that a good way to become familiar is by going online and playing with certain Bitcoin faucets. These are programs that you can play that push advertisements at you while you're playing a really simple game. And every time you read the advertisement and play the simple little game, you're rewarded with so many satoshis, I believe is what they call it on a lot of these websites. And you get to accumulate so many satoshis in your Bitcoin account on that Bitcoin faucet. And for a while you kind of play with it and you accumulate what looks like to be a great number of these satoshis, which is a smaller unit of Bitcoin. And I was playing with that for a while, and I got quite a few Satoshi built up, and I thought, boy, I'm really making a lot. And then I went to cash out that small accumulation, or to me it was a large accumulation of Satoshi, and found out that, I'm only playing with a penny, really. A penny for a few days' work playing games on the internet. So you can play these Bitcoin faucets and you can think that you're making, a good deal of Satoshi or a good deal of currency doing it. But in actuality, these Bitcoin faucets are only teaching tools. They're tools that allow you to become familiar with the Bitcoin currency, both Bitcoin and Satoshi, and to find out through practical hands-on experience, how to create your own Bitcoin wallet and how to start converting, from Satoshi to pennies and from Bitcoin to US dollars or whatever your national currency is. And so I've had a little bit of fun playing with various Bitcoin faucets, and I think it's another service that we can offer our followers here at Temple of the Infinite Universe and also on our tarot reading sites. So we are going to have that addition too incorporated into our websites. This may take me a few weeks, but I am learning how to put Bitcoin faucets on some of our websites that we own. And so people can go to those websites, and if they want to learn more about Bitcoin, if they want to explore the possibility of creating a Bitcoin purse and becoming familiar with Satoshi and Bitcoin and all that jazz, you'll be able to do that on 3 of our websites. This will take some time to do. It's not going to be there immediately. If I can do it within 30 days, I'll be happy. That's my goal anyway. But that's another improvement online that I plan to make as soon as possible. And I guess that's really about it. Talked about our internet sites, talked a little bit about the updates that we've made, improvements that we're looking to make, and I really think that's about all I have to say on about that. So be like Forrest Gump and just shut up. But no, it has been a pleasure, really, working here at Temple of the Infinite Universe thus far. This has definitely been a learning experience, and we are still working to learn and understand the modern technology. I am a product of the mid 20th century. I'm a 1960s kind of guy. My idea of high tech when I was growing up was, my God, a transistor radio that ran on a 9-volt battery. And before that, my biggest thrill was 2 tin cans connected together by a string and using that to create a basic, simple little telephone. But it's time we got with the 21st century. And that's exactly what we are working on doing. And before I can bring Temple of the Infinite Universe truly into the 21st century, I have to work and bring myself into the 21st century. And if anybody out there would like to chip in their own 2 cents worth on things that they'd like to see, new innovations that they'd like to see us make here at Temple of the Infinite Universe, feel free to let us know. And if you can help us make those transitions, to make those changes, those innovations, then please let us know as well. And we'd be happy to receive your help, receive your support. And if you would like to make a monetary donation to Temple of the Infinite Universe to help us maintain and update and improve these websites and these services. I was kind of taking a quick look here at the websites that we run, and we put about $500 a year into just our top 3 websites. I didn't realize it was really that much, but we're on plans that I only have to renew them once every couple of years. But all that stuff does add up. So, and we are looking to we are negotiating right now to buy our current temple property. We're in a situation where if we don't buy our current temple property, then the present owners will sell it to somebody else. So this is kind of a deal where if we don't buy the property that we're currently operating on, we will have to pack up, we will have to move, we will have to pursue a plan B, a plan C, or a plan D. So we are close, though, to getting a deal struck. Right now we're kind of hung up on getting the financing, and the approval for the loan. And any financial help that we receive will be a blessing and will definitely be appreciated. So if you would like to help us out to the tune of $5, $5,000, or $50,000, you can do that on our website using PayPal. I realize there are some limits, but PayPal does serve us pretty well for the time being. And you can do that on one of our main sites, www.hermetictemple.com. And anytime you make a donation, however large or however small, we regard that as being an act of membership within our temple structure. So, to put it very simply, anytime you make a monetary donation to Temple of the Infinite Universe and help us out, we will regard you as a temple member from that point forward. So, you're not just giving us your money when you give us your money. You're also gaining membership in our temple. If you're a regular member of our temple, a regular contributor, you can feel free to offer us, your opinions as a temple member, and chip in your 2 cents worth in more ways than one on letting us know what you'd like to see within our operations, within our temple structure, and have a voice within what we do here at Temple of the Infinite Universe. So contributing it's not only good for us as far as supporting us, giving us the empowerment financially that we need to fulfill our mission of operating a interfaith temple of peace built along Hermetic lines, but it also helps you as far as giving you a little bit more say, a little bit more clout as a full-fledged temple member. We don't have any fancy certificates of membership to offer right now, but we will contact you. We will commune with you. We will talk with you. And what's the word I'm trying to look for? Network. Network with you and regard you as one of our own. So, if you'd like to do that, go to www.hermetictemple.com, and I will be busy making updates on that website as well in the coming days. And until later, until we meet again, either on Spreaker or across the internet, across the universe, wish you a blessed day of spiritual discovery, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in with us. Thank you.